Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, I'm Qatar and I talk about all things real estate, especially how to navigate the process without pulling your hairs out. So today we're diving into a really common question that I get from buyers and sellers all the time. Do I need a notary or a lawyer to close my real estate deal? What's the difference between them? Is one cheaper? Is one safer? Do you need both? So we're going to break it all down in simple real life terms, no legal jargon here, just straight up facts that you can actually use. So let's get into it. Okay, before we compare notaries and lawyers, let's just take a second to talk about what happens during closing because that's what we're really talking about here. So closing is the final step in real estate transaction. It's when buyer officially becomes the owner. The seller gets paid and the keys are handed over. Sounds simple. But behind the scene, there's a lot going on. For example, the title is transferred, checking for legal issues on the property like liens or easements, handling mortgage instructions from the lenders, transferring funds, making sure taxes are adjusted properly, filing everything with Land Title Corporation here in British Columbia. And that's where your lawyer or notary comes in. They make sure all of this is done correctly and legally. If something goes wrong here, it can delay your deal and cost you big time. Now, in British Columbia, you don't have to use a lawyer to close a real estate transaction. You can also use a notary public. Now, that's not true in every province. For example, in Alberta or Ontario, notaries can't do this type of work. But here in BC, yes, they are fully qualified to handle residential real estate closings, including all paperwork, title searches, mortgage registrations, and more. So both real estate lawyers and notary public are legally allowed you to help close a deal. But there are some key differences. So let's break them down. So the question is, what is a notary public in BC? First off, notaries in BC are not the same as notaries in the US or other provinces. In a lot of places, a notary just stamps documents, but in BC, a notary is a highly trained legal professional who can do more, a lot more. And they go through graduate level programs and are licensed by the Society of Notary Publics of British Columbia. Notaries can prepare legal documents, handle real estate closings, draft and register mortgages, prepare wills and power of attorney. They focus on non contentious legal matters. So things like contract, estate planning, real estate transactions where no one's arguing or suing each other. What they don't do is court stuff. So if your deal gets messy or if there's a legal dispute, a notary can't represent you. A lawyer has to step in. So now let's talk about real estate lawyers. Like notaries, lawyers can absolutely handle all the legal and financial parts of closing a deal. They'll deal with your lender, do the title search, draft all the closing documents, and register everything with the land title office. But here's the big difference. Lawyers are also litigators. So if there's a legal problem with the property, or if you're being sued, or if you need serious legal advice about your rights and risks, a lawyer is your person. They can dig deeper into complex title issues, advising on zoning, strata disputes, or builder liens, and represent you in the court if things go sideways. Basically, lawyer can do everything a notary can do, plus more. So the question is, when should you use a notary? All right. So you're buying or selling a home in BC and everything's pretty straightforward. No legal issues, no crazy dispute, no court battles looming. Your contract's clean, you've got your financing in place. It's a typical condo, townhouse, or a detached home. In this case, using a notary can be a smart choice. They are usually more affordable than lawyers, and for routine deals, they'll get the job done efficiently. A notary is great for first time homeowners, simple real estate homes, refinancing transactions, sellers with no title issues. They also tend to have more availability in smaller communities or suburban areas where you might not have access to a ton of real estate law firms. Now, let's talk about when it makes sense to use a lawyer. Here's a few scenarios when a lawyer is worth the extra cost. There's something weird about the title, maybe a builder's lien, a court ordered charge, or an easement that needs investigation. You're dealing with a new build or a pre-sale condo, especially if the developer contract is 40 pages or 100 pages long. You're buying a property with tenants and you want to make sure that the lease transfers legally. And if you're divorced in a real estate situation where other parties might dispute ownership of payouts, you're buying commercial real estate where there are so many more legal layers. Also, if you just want peace of mind or have questions about your rights, lawyers are trained to do um, what notaries aren't, basically giving you legal advice. A notary is not allowed to do that, and they can explain what the documents mean, but not advise you on what's best. So if you're feeling unsure, or if something is in the deal that just feels a little off, go to the lawyer. It's worth it. Let's talk money because we all want to know what's this going to cost me. Notaries tend to be cheaper for a typical purchase in BC. Notary fee might be between 750 to 1500, depends on the complexity. Lawyers cost a bit more. I think they start from 1200 and go up to 2000 for the same transaction, but keep in mind these fees usually include everything like title search, registration, courier costs, disbursements. So just be sure to ask for a full quote and make sure it's all in. Some firms quote low, but then track on extras. Also, if you're using a mortgage broker or lender, they'll often recommend a few trusted lawyers or notaries who already know their system. That can speed things up and save you a lot of stress. So the question is, who should you choose? All right, here's the bottom line. If your deal is clean, simple, and low risk, a notary can save you money and do a great job. If your deal is complex, high stakes, or has any legal red flags, go to a lawyer. They've got your back no matter what. You can even ask your realtor what they recommend, and they'll often know based on the type of property and deal you're working with. At the end of the day, both notaries and lawyers are professionals who work hard to make sure that your home purchase or sales goes through smoothly. It's just about picking the right tool for the job. All right, that's a wrap for today's video. Hopefully, this cleared up the notary versus lawyer debate for you. If you learned something new, go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe.